our colleagues and friends from the University of Kentucky with us, Miss Crystal and Miss Keisha, Crystal Hignite and Keisha Wells. And there are some fabulous things happening through UK here in the region, and it's connected, of course, to the University of Kentucky Central Campus out of Lexington and Dr. Patrick Kitzman's leadership. It involves a lot of outreach, particularly in supporting our students with disabilities as well as assistive technology. So I think you'll really enjoy hearing them provide somewhat of a virtual tour of their services and their center, which is actually regionally located here in Hazard, Kentucky. So I'm going to hush and step aside, and Keisha and Crystal are going to take the stage. And thank you both so much for your valuable time.
Thank you for having us. So we do have something we want to share on the screen. Just as a little roadmap to follow. And as Will said, I'm Keisha Wells. This is Crystal Hignite. I think a lot of you all know Crystal, so I'll let her be the star of the show today. I'll just give you a little background and Crystal can pick up where she left off. So we've had a few of these programs around for a while. Actually, our Project Carrot program has been around since 2012. We were one of the first sites in one of the first carrot sites in the state, us and Brody Perkins site. So we have evolved into the Appalachian Center for Assistive Technology, or ACAT. If you hear someone say ACAT, that is us. We have 4 different programs that we run under the umbrella of ACAT. And this is just a little bit, actually, this is a poster that we created, and Crystal and I are actually going to national conference a couple of weeks from now in Orlando, thank God, because it's cold here and we're ready for some warm weather. But we're going to be presenting this poster at that conference. So like I said, we have 4 different programs. This right here is how our programs work together. But what we are as far as an assistive technology resource center is we have an assistive technology loan locker where we loan out different types of AT and on a 3-month basis. We also have a maker space where we can 3D print, and we also have a laser cutter that will cut acrylic, wood, leather, all kinds of stuff, and Crystal's expertise is in that as well. She runs our maker space. We also do workforce training and refurbishing of our medical equipment, which brings us into Project Carrot. Project Carrot is our oldest running program. Like I said, it was developed in 2012. It is called Coordinating and Assisting the Reuse of Assistive Technology. And what we do is we take in donated used medical equipment, we refurbish it, sanitize it, assess it, and get it back out to the community for free. And most of you probably at some point in time have dealt with insurance in your life, and it's very tedious trying to get them to pay for certain things. So if you have someone, for an example, that is wheelchair bound, they only can get a wheelchair every 5 years. That's where we would come in. If they've worn that wheelchair out, they can't get another one, and we can be able to get that to them. I like to use the example of if you had a car and you didn't change the oil and spark plugs and things in it in 5 years, what's going to happen? It's going to blow up on you. So that a lot of times that's what happens to people's medical equipment. So that's why this program was created. That, and our team was tired of driving down the street and seeing people throwing walkers and things away. And it helps with the landfill as well. We are a unique site here in Hazard because we use it as a service learning program for our physical therapy students. We train them how to work on all of the equipment, how to use the tools. We do have a hub scrub that washes all of it for us, sanitizes it all. And they actually get to use this and take this as a specialty elective. And we have 2 students that serve as coordinators for their class. So it's an extra opportunity that our students can get involved in. And because of Carrot and our want to target high school students and younger generations, we decided to create a program called Carrot Top. So we put the top on it. And it is Together in One Priority. What Carrot Top is it's a 10-week program that brings together students of all abilities. So we take students that are on the gen ed track, we take students with 504s, IEPs, a lot of Crystal's pre-ed students get to participate in Carrot Top. And we put them into groups and we give them a real life project to do. And that's one of the questions we always get is, we get to spend real money. Yes, we let them spend real money. In the springtime, we usually try to do an outdoor activity. We have refurbished a park. We've got some pictures up there, local gyms, things like that. And in the wintertime, we usually do toy adapting or an indoor project. But it teaches them about accessibility. We do teach them how to refurbish some of the equipment if that is a part of the project that they choose. We do the toy adapting, as I mentioned. We teach them how to go in and assess something. That's actually one of the take-home projects that they have is they have to go out in their community and assess a restaurant or assess their school and see how accessible it is. And usually the first week when we ask them how accessible they think their school or something is, they think it is. By the end of the program, they're like, it's not accessible at all.
Yeah.
So it really opens their eyes to accessibility and inclusion. It teaches them gives them skills of how to do a PowerPoint, how to present to a group, in a professional setting, how to dress, how to speak, how to act. They actually have to go present their projects to the powers that be. In case we had our Perry County Central High School students who did some adaptations at the local Perry County Park, and our fiscal court, our county judge executive is over that. So they had to present to him and get his feedback and his permission on actually completing these adaptations. But it also gives them the opportunity to work with a budget and know how to budget things and identify, well, we did this with the amount of money we had, but this also needs done too, whether it can be the next cohort of students behind them, or that's something that somebody can write a grant for. We've even had students ask us about writing grants to further the projects, even past the 10-week program. At the end, we have a certificate completion ceremony, which is the best part because all the students are recognized. We do offer our students that are in the Carrot Top program that we will give them letters of recommendation for college applications, job applications, whatever the case may be. And then the celebration is a chance for them to bring in their parents, grandparents, teachers,
Brother, sister.
yeah, brother, sister, school admin, whoever they would like to invite to come in. They demonstrate their project, what they completed, and it's just a really fun, all about them type of ceremony. And then Toys with a Purpose. It is one of our programs that's just kind of gotten completely out of control. Like we like to say, we've got all kinds of College of Engineering, our PT students, 4-H students, regionally located. We've got Pat Kitzman and I, that Will talked about, our director. We went and actually did a toy adapting class with a school in Lexington, and we worked with 4th grade students, and they were absolutely amazing, the ideas that they had. And then we learned after the fact, their teacher told us that every kid in that class was diagnosed with dyslexia. So it was really cool to see what their thoughts were on different adaptations and then learn that because it was really geared towards that. And then also we work with our high school students here locally. We've gotten some of our arts and design students involved, so across campus, across UK, in multiple parts of the community, we've got a lot of people involved in Toys with a Purpose. Toys with a Purpose is a collaboration, as I talked about, but we also have a toy lending library. So we have a website you can go on, and parents, grandparents, teachers, whoever can go on there and request a toy for a child. And it is completely free. We will mail it to you. You can mail it back when the child is finished with it, get another one. And we know that they grow out of certain toys. But another thing that we've been doing, we've been trying to collaborate with our local DCBS and foster care offices and place toys in those offices and toys in some of those foster care homes as well. Then our next, over here on the right, I'm going to let Crystal take over and talk about some of the other things that we have added since we stole her from the school. That is where we met Crystal at Perry County Central, where she was their pre-eds person there, and she was encouraged to apply for the position that we had open, and then they got mad at us for actually hiring her. So that it was their loss, our gain. I will say that.
So Crystal, oh, I'm sorry, Keisha.
That's okay. Go ahead.
Crystal, before you get started, if I could ask Keisha to scroll up a little bit so we can see the programs that she covered, because I have a couple of questions that may be germane to the teachers that are with us.
Sure.
And I'm going to role play a little bit and how apropos that Crystal is actually an administrator, a programmer with you there at the Center for Excellence in Rural Health. But for about 5 years, she was a CWTP provider at Perry Central High School in residence through the Office of Vocational Rehabilitation. So she may be able to role play with us. And I'm going to use Angela Bartley because of our longstanding relationship, and she's part of our peer support network. And she can talk a little bit about that momentarily, because I think, if I heard correctly, that these programs that you provided an overview for, Carrot Top and Toys with a Purpose, are really applicable to not just students with disabilities, but also perhaps peer mentors who are working in low incidence classrooms like Miss Bartley's and might be interested in one of those opportunities. So, Crystal, talk to us a little bit about the practical application process of students who are in our high schools actually participating in these programs. And there are going to be some nuances, because the 10-week Carrot Top program, I would suspect that that's a combination of virtual and in person. They would have to provide their own transportation. Is there any cost, et cetera, et cetera? If you can just talk a little bit about that from your perspective as a school person bringing her students into these programs.
So for our Carrot Top program, what we do is we actually go to the school ourselves.
Oh, okay.
Myself and Keisha and Dr. Kitzman, we go to the school. We talk to the students. We first, talk to the staff, the administration, to make sure that we're getting a great mix of students. Again, we want to focus on students of all abilities. And me being in the pre-eds again now, I'm able to bring some of those students, as I did when I was actually at Perry Central, into this Carrot Top program. Now, there are some instances, of course, in the Carrot Top that we do field trips with the students to let them see the accessibility. Our first cohort, we went to the park. We gave them some glasses to give them a low vision or blind, just a sense, so they would put the glasses on and try to walk the course of the putt-putt or into the swimming area, having these glasses on. We also took some wheelchairs to see let them, sit in the wheelchairs so they could actually have that one-on-one experience of, is this accessible for a wheelchair? They did find out in several cases, especially in the bathrooms in our local park, that they were not accessible. And that was something the students was able to address in that final meeting with our, powers above us, the county judge. So like, hey, our budget, we ran out of money, but this is also what else we found. So, and even with our Toys with a Purpose, the students actually come here to the ACAT Center. They do a lot of work in our makerspace. Not only do I bring my pre-ed students here to teach them job skills of how to run, how to make the files, how to, work and clean and sustain this equipment. But our Carrot Top students get to do that as well. They get to use, we teach them is the same thing, the same skills. Recently we did a toy adaption this past semester, and some of the students found like they wanted to do a Rubik's Cube. We found some Braille tile on one of the software programs that we have, and the students were able to use the 3D printer and print those Braille tiles out to then put onto a Rubik's Cube so someone could use, blind low vision could use that. So there's a lot of tools and equipment and opportunities here and skills that a lot of these students really never have the exposure to. So we've also made a lot of adaptations to some of this equipment. So I work with more higher functioning IEP students, and then I also have some FMD students as well, who have a lot more of the complications of just using their hands or even speaking. So we do use a lot of our assistive technology here. We print out adaptations, like I was saying, to be able to use a hammer better, to be able to grip, to be able to hold a nail. I have an adaptation over here for a student that I've been with since 2nd grade who has cerebral palsy that in order for him to be a part and not be left out, I made a base for a Dremel. Because he's really not able to hold a Dremel in one hand and then the object in the other. And I always joke around with the kids and carry on, I like them to have their skin, and that's what I say, we don't want to peel your skin off, so we need to use it this way. And everyone's fine with that. And if there's an adaptation that's got to be made, I let everybody use that same adaptation. I don't single out one person or one kid because of this certain situation. Everybody gets to be on the same playing level when they're in here. Even if they can do it, it's still showing them and teaching them about accessibility, about each other. And to me, that's what pre-eds kind of is. Learning how to work with everybody, learning new skills, learning that, sometimes you got to roll with the punches, So, but back to the Carrot Top thing is, everyone, we kind of go back and forth. Mostly we're at the school, mostly we're there with the kids, but especially during outdoors, we're on boots on the ground. We're on site.
That's awesome. So if Miss Angela Bartley there at Pike Central decided, hey, I would like to subscribe to the Carrot Top program, which is a 10-week program at some juncture, she would just need to contact you or Keisha, correct?
Yes.
Yes. And I will say, right now we're grant funded for Carrot Top through the Commonwealth Council on Developmental Disability through the state. That funding runs out this year. So we are working with our advisory council on sponsorships. So getting local sponsorships. So if we had, for instance, if we had someone here that was willing to, and I'm using this as an example because I think we have that coming up. Someone locally is willing to sponsor a class at Hazard High School. So we would work with them, we would come in, we would do the program, but as far as the adaptations, the cost of that, someone in the community, the school, or whomever it may be, would need to sponsor that moving forward. We're going to release what that sponsorship would look like and share with people. We'll put it on our website. But yes, that is our goal, is to expand. We did write an expansion grant through another organization that we unfortunately did not get funded. So we are looking for other grant opportunities. But one thing that our advisory board has been really vocal about is getting local buy-in and local sponsorship. So we are moving a little bit in that direction too. But yes, you contact us and we can absolutely start a conversation on how we can bring Carrot Top into your communities and schools.
And you're gonna have an estimated price point for that sponsorship, whether it's the school sponsoring it or
Yes.
A local sponsor there in Pike County who Angela may recruit, for example, to sponsor that Carrot Top program in her classroom, correct?
Yes,
Yes.
and when we finalize, we're about to finalize that document. When we do, Crystal and I could share that with you, Will,
Yeah.
and you're welcome to share with anybody on this call or anybody else that would like to.
Yeah, I will be happy to share. I've already shared your site, but I can drill down and send this document that you're walking through with us, as well as price points for Carrot Top moving forward. If you
Yes.
do not get funded like you have been in the past. Now, moving to Toys with a Purpose, that sounds to me like, again, role playing with Miss Bartley. If she decided that that's something that she and her students and her peer mentors wanted to do, that could be a one-day field trip to the center here in Hazard, correct?
It could be a one-day field trip. It could also be a field trip, us coming to her students.
Okay.
Have a mobile toolkit that
Okay.
Chris and I lug around
We
with
will
us.
haul it around like.
Everywhere we
Yeah.
go. So we could even, we actually have a school in Knott County that, we were there for Dr. Seuss week and I was reading a book and just out of
We had it
that
half
conversation,
adapted.
we had it half adapted, half not adapted, and they had some amazing ideas and they were second grade. So that teacher has asked us to come back and do a book adaptation day with that second grade class. And they were thinking of things that Crystal and I didn't even think of. So I mean, even that young are already thinking of things like that. So yeah, that's a field trip either way. You
Okay.
can students here or
let
we
us
can
know
come
and
to
we can
you.
come there, yeah.
We also, for any of you guys that are on social media, we do have a Facebook page. If you just type in ACAT or Appalachian Center for Assistive Technology, we post all of our activities and things that we do on there so you can get a better idea of some of the things we do with all of the students too.
So moving on to the pre-eds. So as Keisha mentioned, all the other programs, I want to kind of circle back and really, I guess, understand that our pre-eds and all of our programs all kind of work together. We want them all to kind of be, not that we're jumping in back and forth and things like that, but, in our Carrot, we have trained some of the pre-ed students to work on some of this medical equipment, to learn how to use these tools, to put these pieces together, to sanitize, to clean. Again, with the Carrot Top, I've had several pre-ed students in the Carrot Top and also the Toys with a Purpose. Those are the students a lot of the times that I really want to target and teach more about in depth of accessibility, teaching them how to advocate for themselves. That way, when you've got something in your hand, they can tell me what they need to make reading that book easier, or playing with this toy easier, or playing this board game easier. So we kind of it all kind of works together. A lot of our activities that we do here in our makerspace, the students get hands-on learning. I have several videos now that I have uploaded onto some of our laptops that they can sit down and watch the videos on how to use our Glowforge, which is our laser cutter, how to sit down and print files on our 3D printers. And they're all uploaded here and they can just take them over there. We have several laptops that have just generic sign-ins so that anyone can come in and sit down and use those. A lot of my pre-ed students, I have noticed, progressed significantly since last year when I started teaching this to them. They could probably sit down now. I know 2 for sure could sit down and do this without any help. But it's learning how to articulate all those files and be comfortable with using some of these tools. A lot of these students are not exposed to using a power drill. But when you start out with just a single screwdriver and a screw, and then graduating them on, they feel, more accomplished in what they're doing. And again, if they need those adaptions, we make them print them themselves, or I have them ready to go. You can see in our pictures, those are some of the pre-ed students. I think that's from Buckhorn. I think the other one might be one of the Prairie kids over in the corner that says ACAT up there. That is our big hub scrub. The one on the far right on the top there. That is the hub scrub that we've taught them how to use back here that does the sanitizing and cleaning of the medical equipment. Below you can see some of those pictures of some of the fun things that we've kind of printed out on the 3D. We've got our little famous Yoda there. He's just a toothpaste squeezer. I call him, excuse me, the puking Yoda. But it kind of, it's more, that goes along with some other objects, or not objects, but products that we have that is one-hand use, learning how to be more independent of using your toothbrush, washing your face, taking care of yourself, things like that. And again, these students are learning how to make these items and learning more about accessibility by doing and making these items. I get to take these kids out and offer a lot of experience and exposure with these students, showing them different job opportunities, talking to employers. They ask lots of questions. That's one of my rules that I have. Don't stand there and just stare. Ask a question, have a question ready. Most of the time before we take outside trips like that, we talk about different questions to ask. And a lot of those are about what type of accommodations do you need as a student that you think you would need at a job? And they do ask that, which is great, I think, because again, it's teaching them to advocate for themselves, letting their employers know exactly what they need. A lot of the items that we have in our loan locker, I do use some with our pre-ed students. I have a few nonverbal that I have. I take an iPad that we have that we do loan those out. That has a lot of speech apps on them. We have word picture apps, which is great for 2 of my students. And it allows me to ask them questions and then give me a yes/no answer, or even days of the week or anything, whatever the lesson is of the day, money, things like that. They can have their iPad for me to be able to communicate a little bit better with them and show them the picture word options that they have. But yeah, all of our programs kind of work together. We have a lot of people come here. And again, one more thing our pre-ed students help us do. It's free child labor, but all of the activities that we do in our community, we go to our adult daycare, our veteran center, places like that. We do activities. I want the students to understand what we're doing. I have them get little toolkits ready, little craft kits ready. We kind of pre-make some items because again, some of our veterans or some of our adults, again, may have some, issues using their hands or not being able to see something properly. So we kind of assess that, not just our pre-ed students, but our other students that come in here as well. Let's think about it. Let's see how hard this is to do, and then think about the community that we're going to. So I do have a lot of the pre-ed students do that and make those kits. And every time we go to the centers and do different activities, I let them know, hey, the students have done this for you. They have gotten this ready for you. Now, at the beginning of this year, we kind of reversed roles and we had our adult daycare do kits for our pre-ed students, which was fun for the adults to do because they had been seeing all these kits come in and, things like that, knowing the kids had done that. And it was fun to have the adults do the same back for the kids. We take tons of pictures and we show our adults and our students, hey, this is what you did. This is what we did, with the kit you made. And they get a lot of pride in that, to see that. in both instances, in both cases. So, but we would welcome any visitors here. We have tons of things that we have not a lot of time to mention everything here that we have, but we would gladly love to have students come in, or we again can come to you guys and bring some of our awesome things that we do.
If anybody's interested in any of these activities that you talked about, these 4 programs, how do they need to get up with you?
Our contact information is on the website.
Okay, thanks.
Welcome.
And is there a limited area that you all will go to?
So we're part of this whole eastern part of our state.
Okay.
So yeah. We do, a lot of our lawn locker items have went out to several of our teachers here in Perry and Breathitt counties for items. And it gives it gives the teacher and the student both a chance to kind of try something out before, they ask the district to pay for it or if it's going to work. We just got back a guided hands that's been used a couple of times to help with writing. It holds the wrist and the forearm of the hand. So we have a lot of smart home things that have went out. We have a fabulous new eye gaze system back here that hooks to your computer that you can use a blink of your eye, a bite, even the flick of a muscle will operate your computer. So we have a lot of different options of, things that we do loan out.
And I'll continue to promote. And I think, Miss Bartley, did you want to mention your comment?
Yeah, I think it's pretty exciting opportunities to get the peer mentors more involved. And it's a good opportunity for our kids to get services that they aren't aware are even out there.
Exactly.
And,
Yeah.
and like I said, I've got some pretty unique predispositions to get some of these things going because my sister has a ministry. It's a small scale ministry, but she receives medical equipment a lot that's used. And I think usually they end up throwing some of it away.
Oh,
And
gosh. Yeah.
and as well,
That's a 10.
I have a nursing program next door, the classroom beside us, and they're always interested. They come in for Valentine's Day or Christmas and do programs with their kids. So they would be really interested, I think, in working with us. And it's a nursing program, so the teacher would love for them to be able to become aware of medical equipment. So,
Yeah, just get a hold of us. I mean, if anybody has any type of medical equipment to donate.
I know I gave the nursing teacher a wheelchair already for my sister's ministry. So
Yeah, we go through wheelchairs quite a bit. And bath chairs,
well,
bath
I see
benches.
you started your contact information, so I'll pass that along.
Now, the person wanted to know about the guided hands here. Keisha has it right here. I don't know if I can see it.
I'm not sure that you all can really see
You
it.
might
but
have
I'm
to
gonna
go
try
up there.
Walk up. So just fell off of it.
But it's a guided
you can-
hand.
It's kind of a big little contraption. It's kind of big and bulky, but there we go. So you strap your hand on your wrist, the pen or pencil goes in here and it helps guide. So somebody that, could not use that function every time I move and
Yeah,
pocket,
the camera follows
keeps
us.
So that's what that is, and that is available for loan with you. Just get that back from one of the school systems.
And it has different attachments for the palm. There's some bigger ones and some smaller ones as well that can be changed out. And it just, like Keisha said, you just put your pencil or marker or whatever it is that you're wanting to put into the tip, and it straps on your forearm here, and it holds your wrist and then your bottom part of your forearm. Your palm of your hand rests on that ball. So it guides you through. It has a track that it can guide you through the writing process.
And Will, I don't know if you got a chance to play with it when you were here for our open house, but we had it out and most people came in and
We had them
wrote their
write.
name with it.
Yeah.
I did. I was there for a while.
Yeah.
I tried to go to every station and see all the things. That was a wonderful open house. I think it's invaluable to do
Yeah.
that. But I appreciate your outreach, your willingness to be able to go out versus always expecting folks to come in, because that makes it more challenging, of course. And
Yes.
love your energy and commitment to serving students with disabilities. And the caveat for some of the work that I do is this may very well be interesting to those peer mentors, some of whom are doing the peer mentoring in low incidence classrooms for a leadership experience, but some of them are interested in becoming low incidence teachers themselves. So I concur with Miss Bartley. This is something that we will have some more conversations about and explore moving forward to see how we can get you connected to those 5 LIMSD classrooms that are at Pike Central, Pikeville High, and we've
Yes.
got Belfry, and we've got Phelps, and we've got Knott Central. So those are the 5 schools right now, and we continue to expand every year that subscribe to the Peer Support Network, where they have gen ed students who give one class per day all year long to go and work with students as peers, whether it's tutoring them or working with them and the teachers and the instructional assistants to host field trips like Toys with a Purpose, for example,
Mhm.
or holiday celebrations, et cetera, et cetera. So thank you both so much.
Thanks for
Well,
having.
I think this is very, very interesting. Um, I wasn't expecting all 4 of the programs like this, but I've learned a lot about all 4. Um, my concern is we have a lot of districts that do not know that you are out there.